Episode 75. He will be mine. Don't you get cocky. Mishu leaned toward Tan Hua when she was about to leave Nan Shen's room after making a mess. The girl sneered as she walked past Tan Hua, leaving Nan Shen's room as if she hadn't done anything wrong. What? Tan Hua's eyes widened when she heard what Mai Shu whispered to her as she left Nan Shen's room. Did she hear it right? Mai Shu said Nan Shen would be hers? Really? Did her eyes deceive her, or did Mishu clearly sneer as she went past her? Tan Hua trembled as she tightened her grip on the small box in her hand. Her heart ached so much that it felt like being torn apart with a knife. She thought Nan Shen had feelings for her now, even though he had lost his memories of her, but she really had been thinking too much. She had assumed things, put her hopes in a man who didn't even love her. Why would Mai Shu come to Nan Shen's room if Nan Shen hadn't allowed her? The girl kissed Nan Shen too. So those two were in that kind of relationship now? Something was wrong with Mishu for sure, but Nan Shen, what was his feeling for her? Did he still have feelings for Mishu? Tan Hua wanted to ask Nan Shen, but seeing that he couldn't even speak, she could only squeeze her eyes shut and throw the small box from her hand at Nan Shen's face. Plaque. You jerk. Tan Hua ran away from the room while sobbing nonstop. What else could she do if Nan Shen chose Mishu? She really was a fool to waste her time on someone who didn't love her. She had received a marriage proposal from Lan Yanjin, but she wouldn't accept it. She was still waiting for Nan Shen to come back to her, but what did he do? Get kissed by her own best friend? Couldn't he dodge or something? Tan Hua. Seeing Tan Hua disappear, Nan Shen's heart stopped beating for a second. Cold sweat drenched his back, and his whole body suddenly felt cold. He was done for. What should he do? Chase after her? Tell her that it was Mishu's fault? But for what? Did he love Tan Hua enough that he didn't want her to misunderstand? Nan Shen's head spun around. For a man with high pride like him, chasing after a girl when he wasn't sure whether he loved her or not was something impossible to do, yet he wanted to grab that tiny little hand and explain everything. Nan Shen looked down, biting his lips, and saw the small red box Tan Hua threw at him, lying on the floor. For some reason, the moment he saw the box, his head began to throb in pain. What's this box? Why does it feel so familiar? But he's never seen the box before. Tan Hua threw this at him, so it must be what she wanted to show him. The reason she came to his room, right? Nan Shen's heart beat faster as he picked up the box and slowly opened it. Inside was a small silver ring with a dog paws decoration that, strangely, looked extremely familiar to him. Ugh. Nan Shen's head throbbed so much that he felt like something was hitting him. He felt dizzy, and his head was in immense pain. Slowly but surely, a row of memories suddenly appeared one by one, filling his mind with memories he had lost. So many memories, from the smallest details to the major moments, appeared in his mind all at once. The first memory that came was the time when he went to the mall to pick out a ring design for Tan Hua. Then came the memories of the times he spent with her, from the first time they met until the last time he remembered her. Nan Shen groaned in pain as he recovered all his memories in one go. His breath turned chaotic, and sweat rained down his face. His head was spinning, and the last thing he saw before his surroundings turned dark was the silver ring in his hand. Bruh. Lan Yanjin's room. Knock, knock. Lan Yanjin was about to go to bed when he heard someone knocking on his room door instead of ringing a bell. The man lazily went to the door and opened it, thinking it might be Nan Shen looking for a fight, but the one he saw was Tan Hua, looking exhausted. There was an obvious trace of tears on her cheek, and her eyes were still red. The tip of her nose was reddened like a clown, not to mention the corner of her lips, which was bleeding. Tan Hua? What happened to you? Lan Yanjin noticed Tan Hua's hollow eyes and couldn't help but think she had been physically hurt or something. But this was a hotel, who would do that to her? Can we go to your house tonight and depart early in the morning tomorrow? Tan Hua's voice was hoarse, and she spoke very faintly. Her eyes looked lifeless, and her body staggered as she stood, obviously tired for no reason. Well, we can, but tell me what happened? Lan Yanjin quickly took Tan Hua to his room and made her sit on a sofa not far from his bed. He called the hotel staff to bring medicine before asking Tan Hua with a worried expression. Nothing. It's just... Never mind. Tan Hua felt so tired, both physically and mentally. She only wanted to go back to her home, meet Shen Ling, and ask if he knew something about Mishu. As for Nan Shen, she didn't want to meet him until her feelings calmed down. Fine, let's go to my house. I'll call my men to pack up your things. Let's go now. Lan Yanjin carefully treated Tan Hua's lips with the medicine the hotel staff had brought. For now, he had to make sure her lips would be all right later. Just what happened to make her so hurt? Men. Tan Hua nodded without saying anything, sitting silently like a ragged doll. She had lost her usual brightness and now looked extremely gloomy, making Lan Yanjin's heart ache for her. He didn't know what had happened, but if this was because of Nan Shen. Just wait. Lan Yanjin quickly helped Tan Hua walk to his car after ensuring his men had come to pack her things. He wanted Tan Hua to be able to rest quickly, so he didn't waste time and immediately headed to his house. 12A. M. Hospital. Man Nan Shen slowly opened his eyes and saw a white ceiling as the first thing he noticed. If his memories served him right, the hotel room's ceiling wasn't white, right? What happened to him? Where was he? He remembered looking at the ring he gave to Tan Hua and… Tan Hua? Nan Shen's eyes widened when he thought about Tan Hua. He really wanted to bang his head against the wall and disappear, remembering how he acted when he lost his memories of her. He was such a jerk. Nan Shen had completely recovered his memories thanks to the ring Tan Hua gave. But sadly, the one who gave the ring back wasn't here at the moment. He had hurt her so badly that she must hate him now. The ring. Where's the ring? Nan Shen was about to turn his head around and stand up to look for the ring, when suddenly a man's voice rang right next to his bed, almost making him fall off the bed for real. Looking for this? Ren Yuan raised his eyebrows as he spoke for the first time, after waiting for Nan Shen to wake up for several hours. Ren Yuan? Nan Shen's eyes widened in shock. He wanted to grab the silver shining ring that Ren Yuan held, but the man suddenly backed away, making him unable to grab the ring. I know you need this ring, but tell me something first. Ren Yuan played with the ring as he looked at Nan Shen with a serious face. He usually had a cold expression, but this time it was colder than ever. Seeing Ren Yuan's seriousness, Nan Shen stopped trying to snatch the ring and lay back on the bed while still keeping his eyes on Ren Yuan's face. This man. He had a guess about what he was going to ask him. First of all, have you gained back all your memories? Ren Yuan put the ring inside the pocket on his chest. He stared at Nan Shen as he asked him the first question he wanted to know. Yeah. Sort of. Nan Shen nodded in response. He scratched his head, feeling awkward that he had just gained back all his memories. Before, he didn't remember much about Ren Yuan, but now he remembered everything about this guy. Good. Now the second question. Do you like Mishu? Ren Yuan squinted his eyes as he asked this question. His voice was much deeper than before, and a hint of seriousness could be detected in his tone. Are you crazy? I got my memory back, so of course I like Tan Hua. Who the heck likes Mishu? Nan Shen frowned in displeasure when Ren Yuan mentioned the name Mishu. Before, he admired this strong-looking girl, but now he couldn't find that same admiration for the current Mishu. It was as if the Mishu he knew before was no longer the same person. All right then. The last question. Have you noticed anything strange about Mishu? Ren Yuan paused for a second before clasping his hands together. He looked straight into Nan Shen's eyes as he asked the last thing he needed to know. He had to make sure that it wasn't just his imagination that Mishu seemed like a different person. You too? When Nan Shen heard what Ren Yuan asked, his eyes widened in shock. He thought it was only him who had noticed this, but it turned out Ren Yuan also noticed? Yeah. Ever since she got a headache on the plane, she changed. I almost couldn't recognize her. This isn't the Mishu I know. Ren Yuan bit his lips slightly, recalling how the date had gone. My Shu would always enjoy their dates, but today, Mishu wasn't like that. She looked uninterested in everything, and her attitude toward him seemed fake. Maybe she thought she could hide it well, but he could see her eyes weren't focused on him. Even though she smiled throughout the date, he couldn't tell if she enjoyed it. Her mind seemed to wander somewhere else when he spoke to her, and it was obvious that she wasn't paying attention to him. Had he done something to upset Mishu? But that wasn't the case. Right after their date ended, he took her to a restaurant, and there, he was shocked again. Mishu used to love shrimp, but now she wouldn't even touch it. Ren Yuan didn't know that the current Mishu hated shrimp because of an allergy, so even though her body wouldn't react to shrimp anymore, she subconsciously avoided eating it. Is she an imposter? For a second, Nan Shen forgot about Tan Hua and thought about Mishu instead. If Mishu was an imposter, no wonder she had dared to kiss him in front of Tan Hua. Wait, Tan Hua. What about Tan Hua? We should look into this matter. Ren Yuan sighed as he took the ring and gave it back to Nan Shen. If that girl was an imposter of the one he loved, he wouldn't let this go easily. Tell me where Tan Hua is. I hurt her so badly with my misunderstanding. I need to see her. Nan Shen's face turned a bit pale as he gripped the ring in his hand. He could postpone dealing with Mishu, but Tan Hua. That girl was with Lan Yanjin now. Who knew what she might do when she was heartbroken? Oh God, he was the worst boyfriend ever. He had to make up for his mistakes. He would never let go of Tan Hua, not until the end. Do you know where Tan Hua is now? Is she still in her room, or? Nan Shen turned his head to Ren Yuan as he asked about Tan Hua's whereabouts. He wanted to clear up the misunderstanding and tell her that his memories had returned as soon as possible. He couldn't let the girl think there was something strange between him and Mishu. Just check her room. Right. Message her first. Ren Yuan didn't know anything about Tan Hua's whereabouts, so he could only suggest that Nan Shen text her. Call her, just go straight to her room. It's already late now. I wonder if she's still awake. Nan Shen quickly messaged Tan Hua, explaining that he had regained his memories and clarifying what had happened before. He typed a long message, hoping to explain everything. Send. Nan Shen sent the message, but to his surprise, the message wasn't sent. It wasn't because his internet was bad or anything, but maybe because Tan Hua's phone was off. She turned off her phone so she won't read my message. Calling her would be useless too. Nan Shen scratched his head, feeling frustrated that he couldn't contact Tan Hua. He knew she must be sleeping, but he had to make sure his message reached her. Try to go to her room in the hotel. This is her room number, but don't hope too much. She might be sleeping already. Ren Yuan patted Nan Shen on the back, encouraging him to go to the hotel as soon as he could. Ren Yuan still had a matter to take care of, so he wouldn't go back to the hotel first. I'll be going. Please take care of the hospital bill for me, and I'll return the money soon. Nan Shen got out of bed, and after making sure he wasn't wearing pajamas, he quickly called his men to bring his car to the hospital. Tan Hua must still be in the hotel, right? He could meet her there. Everything would be fine. Nan Shen hurried to the hotel, while Ren Yuan went to another place to cool his head. Hotel, 15 minutes later. Knock, knock. Nan Shen had arrived in front of Tan Hua's room and was knocking on the door. Strangely, he didn't get a response. He tried pressing the bell, but even after waiting for a while, no one opened the door. He knew Tan Hua must be sleeping, but one thing he was curious about was the door. The door had another key besides the manual one, a card key. Usually when someone was inside and locked the door from within, there would be a blue glowing light on the door. But then he saw that the small part of the door where the card key was used wasn't glowing at all. What did this mean? Could it be that the door wasn't locked from the inside? Then, Tan Hua went out and locked the door from outside? But it was already midnight. Where could she have gone? Had she gone somewhere with Mishu? Nan Shen's mind raced, realizing that Tan Hua wasn't in the room. He wanted to ask Mishu, but because of the previous incident, he was reluctant to ask her. He could only ask Ren Yuan if he knew something. Ren Yuan, how did you know I fainted back then? Did Mishu know about this? Where's Mishu right now? Still in her room, or? Nan Shen panicked, asking several questions at once, making Ren Yuan confused. Nan Shen's back was drenched in cold sweat, and his hand, which was holding the phone, was shaking. His heart was pounding as he walked around in front of Tan Hua's room, waiting for Ren Yuan to tell him something. Calm down. I discovered you fainted because I went to find you. I wanted to talk about Mishu's strange behavior, and that's when I saw you lying on the floor, unconscious, Ren Yuan answered with a calm tone, trying to help Nan Shen relax, though he didn't understand what was wrong. Did Mishu know I fainted? Nan Shen took a deep breath before asking again. If Mishu knew, she should be in the hospital with Tan Hua, but he hadn't seen either of them there. Mishu didn't know about this. I didn't tell her. What's wrong? What happened? Ren Yuan could sense that something was wrong with Nan Shen just from his voice. The man looked worried, and Ren Yuan wondered what exactly was going on. Didn't Nan Shen go to the hotel to talk to Tan Hua? Tan Hua isn't in her room, and the room is locked from outside. The door isn't glowing blue. Just where is she? Nan Shen tightened his grip on his phone as he stopped walking for a moment. What? She isn't in the hotel? But I'm sure Mishu is still in her room, so she isn't with Tan Hua right now. Ren Yuan was startled to hear Nan Shen's question. Mishu isn't with Tan Hua? Then where's Tan Hua? Nan Shen's heart almost leapt from his chest, hearing what Ren Yuan said over the phone. Sweat began to wet his face, and his body trembled slightly. What if Tan Hua went to a bar or a shady place like that because she felt heartbroken? No, that couldn't happen. Someone might take advantage of her. What about Lan Yanjin? Check his room. If he isn't there, there might be a chance that Tan Hua went with Lan Yanjin, Ren Yuan tried to think calmly while helping Nan Shen. He had a feeling that Tan Hua might go out with Lan Yanjin since the girl didn't seem like someone who would go out late at night by herself. Wait, I'll check. Do you know his room number? Nan Shen's face brightened a little, hearing Ren Yuan's suggestion. He was so panicked that he didn't think that far. Tan Hua came to London with Lan Yanjin. So if she went out, she must have gone with him. It's the room next to Tan Hua's room. Ren Yuan was sure. Given how Lan Yanjin treated Tan Hua, the man must want to sleep in the room next to Tan Hua's room. So there was really no need to check where his room was. Hold on, Nan Shen immediately cut the call. He walked to the room next to Tan Hua's and saw that the blue light was off too. It meant the room was locked from outside and there was no one inside. Are you sure it's Lan Yanjin's room? If yes, then your guess might be right. The room is locked from outside too. Nan Shen tightened his fist as he told Ren Yuan the situation in the hotel. Now, he could be half sure that Tan Hua went with Lan Yanjin, but the question was, where? Where did those two go? It was already so late at night, they couldn't be going to a club or a place like that, right? I'm sure it's Lan Yanjin's room. You can be sure that Tan Hua went with him. Try to ask the receptionist if she saw anyone with black hair and blue eyes going out with a blonde-haired girl. Lan Yanjin's appearance is unique, so someone must have noticed him if he went out of the hotel. Ren Yuan sighed as he sipped his tea. He was still working on business, but Nan Shen's problem was more serious than he thought. Even though he wasn't close with Tan Hua, he felt he should at least help Nan Shen find his girl. Right. I'll try asking. Don't cut the call yet. Nan Shen's eyes brightened as he quickly went to the elevator. Lan Yanjin did have a unique appearance, so someone might have seen him with Tan Hua. He could ask when the two of them went out and make sure they didn't change hotels or something. If they checked out, there was a high chance that they already went to another hotel. That would be both good and bad news. The good news was that he could sigh in relief knowing Lan Yanjin didn't bring Tan Hua to a club or something. The bad news would be, what if he did something to Tan Hua in the new hotel? Nan Shen was so panicked that he didn't think he could actually use the GPS he placed on Tan Hua's belongings to track her down. The man only focused on asking the receptionist for now. 5 minutes later. Right when Nan Shen arrived at the lobby, he immediately approached the receptionist with a smile on his face. He didn't look like the man who was so panicked earlier. Excuse me, did you see a man with black hair and blue eyes going out of the hotel with a blonde-haired girl? Nan Shen tried to be as natural as possible in case the receptionist became suspicious. It was late at night, and for someone to ask about one of the people sleeping in the hotel, the receptionist might think he was an assassin or something, right? Right. I saw them going out from the hotel around 2 or 3 hours ago. Those two checked out and aren't in the hotel now. The receptionist smiled at Nan Shen before giving out the information he asked for. She indeed saw a handsome man with unusual black hair and blue eyes checking out from the hotel with a blonde-haired girl next to him. The girl looked pale, almost zombie-like from her complexion alone, so those two were really easy to remember. Checking out? Nan Shen almost dropped his phone when he heard what the receptionist said. Does this mean Lan Yanjin and Tan Hua indeed changed hotels? They didn't stay at this hotel anymore? What the hell? Yes. I saw a few men in black suits bring the couple's luggage with them. So I think those two changed hotels. The receptionist silently admired Nan Shen for his handsome face. She didn't really notice him before, but after looking again, the man in front of her was truly handsome, almost like an angel sent from heaven. Couple? Who is a couple with who? This receptionist must be blind. Nan Shen gritted his teeth, hearing the receptionist mistake Lan Yanjin and Tan Hua for a couple. But he was sure that something happened that made people misunderstand like this. Just where the heck did that man take Tan Hua? Thank you for answering. Nan Shen squeezed out a smile, and seconds later, he strode away from the receptionist to a table in the lobby. The receptionist looked at Nan Shen, who sat down on the sofa near her, and could only shake her head. She was so lucky to meet such a handsome man late at night, but he seemed to be in a bad mood. Ren Yuan, Lan Yanjin indeed took Tan Hua with him. They checked out from the hotel. They're not here anymore, Nan Shen called Ren Yuan with a low, unspirited voice. He furrowed his eyebrows as he tapped his foot to the floor several times already. So they changed hotels. Can't you track them down? Ren Yuan felt sorry for Nan Shen, knowing that another man had taken his girl. But it was actually Nan Shen's fault for treating Tan Hua badly when he lost his memories. Even though he disagreed with Nan Shen's attitude back then, he still wanted to help his friend. There must be a way to track down Tan Hua's location. Track them down? Wait. I forgot I can use GPS to find Tan Hua. Hearing Ren Yuan's words, Nan Shen patted his forehead, feeling like the biggest fool in the world. He was too panicked to remember that he could track Tan Hua using the GPS. Nan Shen. You are so forgetful. Ren Yuan shook his head, cursing his friend in his heart. If this man had remembered he could use the GPS earlier, he wouldn't have been so stressed. Right, sorry. I'll use the GPS now. I'll call you later. Nan Shen cut the call as he quickly used the GPS. He was sure that Tan Hua still had the GPS in her belongings, so he could track her wherever she went. Just why the heck did he only remember this now? If he had thought of using the GPS from the start, he might have already found Tan Hua. Nan Shen tracked the GPS and saw that the red dot blinking was far from the hotel's location. If he remembered it right, the place where Tan Hua was now should be a luxurious area for rich men. There weren't any hotels there. Don't tell me. Nan Shen's eyes widened in shock when he realized where Lan Yanjin had taken Tan Hua. There would only be mansions for the rich in that certain location. Lan Yanjin was the one who brought Tan Hua there, so that man took Tan Hua to his own house? Nan Shen almost threw his phone to the floor when he realized what had happened. So Tan Hua hadn't changed hotels but had stayed in Lan Yanjin's house instead. He didn't have the right to criticize those two because he wasn't Tan Hua's boyfriend at the moment. But still. After recovering his memories, seeing his girl taken away by another man really hurt. But he bet this wasn't as bad as what Tan Hua felt when he treated her so coldly. He remembered how he was the one who asked to break up. The girl cried back then. He also remembered how he never made Tan Hua smile since he lost his memories. Now Tan Hua had seen Mishu kiss him. This whole situation had become a mess. Nan Shen ruffled his hair in frustration as he called his men to bring his car. Even though it was 1 a.m., he needed to go to Lan Yanjin's house now. He had a feeling that if he waited until morning, he wouldn't be able to meet Tan Hua. Lan Yanjin's house. Stop. Outsiders can't come in. Right when Nan Shen's car was about to enter Lan Yanjin's house area, the security immediately stopped Nan Shen's car. It was bound to happen when someone visited another person's house so late at night. Nan Shen stopped his car and lowered the window as he stared at the security guard with deadpan eyes. The man clicked his tongue in irritation as he spoke to the security guard with a haughty tone of voice. Tell your master that Nan Shen is here to meet him. Nan Shen raised his chin, feeling annoyed that to meet that man, he had to go through something like this. Even though his family was now on the same level as the Lan family, his family was still newly rising, unlike the Lan family, who had been established in society for much longer.